Usually people get into relationships with one another so that they can feel whole within themselves. Once I find that right partner, I'm going to feel safe and secure. That is an insane thought, because if that's what you're wanting, when you get to the relationship, you're going to depend on that person to provide that for you. And when they cannot do that, you're going to hold them responsible for it, right? So this is where we fall into putting our issues and the responsibility of it on them, right? So because I'm feeling low about myself, you have to do something. You have to be my dancing monkey that's going to make me feel better. And if you can't do that, then I'm going to continue to punish you for it, which unfortunately is what most people do in relationships. See, we get so fixated on the story, trying to fix something in relationships. And I just had a conversation with a good friend about this morning. She's like, I just need to leave the relationship. I just need to get out of it. You know, he's this, that, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, but if you leave the relationship and you're in this mindset of just wanting to end it, then you're just going to repeat the pattern in the next relationship. But we forget that when we get into relationships, and we think that the other person is who is making us feel happy or sad. No, we make ourselves feel happy or sad through the other person. And we can hold ourselves back via that person or set ourselves free from it. So whatever your partner is triggering in you throughout the entire duration of your relationship is there to serve you. And if you put the responsibility of how you're feeling on them, you're not evolving. And so I said to my friend, if this relationship is going to come to an end for you, just make sure that there is no anger, no animosity, no jealousy if he gets together with anybody else, no regret whatsoever. Because if there is, if you walk out of the relationship and there is one iota of doubt or insecurity or anger, you haven't done the self-work. But don't worry, you're going to have another opportunity to do it, because you're going to repeat the pattern in the next relationship, but only because you didn't do the self-work in the other relationship. And this goes for friends too. This goes for family, right? Family has that same dynamic as your intimate love relationships partners, in the sense that they can really pull out of you what sometimes makes you feel more insane. And some people think that they have to stay in relationships with family members just because they're family. But notice how that relationship too is holding you hostage. So I'm not saying walk away from all relationships that make you feel nuts. I'm saying walk towards them and resolve your own issues. See that you are your own problem in the relationship, and that you're coming together with people to heal what's unorganized in you, not them. And what you'll realize is some relationships are going to end, but they're not going to end because you're trying to run away from something, right? They're going to end because they're going to come into a completion state within yourself. And you're going to know that that's the truth, because again, you're going to walk away feeling very free, very light in your heart, holding no animosity, where you love them without being or feeling weighed down or held back by them. So you can have a clean break out of the relationship because you really have done the self-work. And sometimes those relationships break up because the other person isn't ready to do that. And you can sometimes see the effects of that, of how people act after the breakup. Some people are really mean to one another and say bad things about one another because they didn't do the self-work. And once you've worked through that relationship and you have found a lot of healing, when you get into the next relationship, it'll be a different relationship, because you're going to attract somebody that has also laid that kind of groundwork. So there'll be less desire to want to hold one another accountable for how you're feeling. And that relationship dynamic is going to be a healthier one. And you'll have the same sort of understanding with that person, that you are there to show up for yourself. And then in doing that, you can come together in a way that is truly loving, not conditional loving that some people believe is love, the conditional love that says, I can hate your guts, or I can be mad at you and still love you. That is not love. That is a delusional state of being. That's unaware love. So when you truly love somebody, you walk away holding them in high regard, holding them where they still have this special place in your heart, but you are completely at ease with moving on to the next phase of your life.